Hello, everyone, and happy Tuesday. So, today we are going to be working on our My Side of the Mountain first read guide, and we're going to be using this PDF of the story right here. So, I want you to make sure that you have both of those things open as we get started on our first read guide assignment this morning or this afternoon, knowing most of you. So this text is the same exact text that you would find in Pearson. I just know so many people had trouble accessing it last week that I figured this was the easiest way for us to read it. So this is a PDF version of the text that you can just now read and scroll through here on Schoology. And then here is our first read guide. And I'm going to kind of go over the expectations and requirements for each section of the first read guide. I would actually say pause this video and listen to my directions again when you're going to work on the annotate, the notice, the connect, and research section. So that way you can go back and just hear those directions again when you work on it and you get that example as well. So our first section that I'm going to talk to you guys about is our notice section. It says notice how the main character lives. And you guys are going to explain how the protagonist finds food and shelter while living in the wild. To support your answers, about 4 to 5 sentences. So you're going to go into that text and just explain like how did he find food and shelter and explain your text evidence of your reasoning. All right, this annotate section. All right. The narrator stated that they often did not fully think through their actions in the early days of living in the wild. Highlight 3 sections. So I need 3 different examples of this in the text. And explain how they showed the narrator did not think through the consequences of his actions. And your sentence and your annotations that you do here should be about 2 to 3 sentences per annotation. 1 sentence should be the quote, and those other 2 sentences should be your annotation, your explaining or your explanation of why this is showing that they didn't think through their thoughts. So I'm actually going to do an example together so I can kind of show you guys what I want this to look like. So we're going to go to My Side of the Mountain, just kind of scroll through and see if we can find any mention. Him just not thinking everything through fully. And then, jackpot, paragraph 5. You know, those days, I just never planned right. I had the beginnings of a home, but not a bite to eat. And I had worked so hard that I could hardly move forward to find that bite. Furthermore, it was discouraging to feed that body of mine. It was never satisfied. And gathering food for it took time and it got hungrier. Trying to get a place to rest, it took time and got it more tired. And I really felt I was going in circles and wondered how primitive man ever had enough time and energy to stop hunting food and start thinking about fire and tools. Wow, we hit on a lot there. But I'm specifically looking for evidence that he doesn't think through all of his actions. So I'm actually going to select this first sentence right here. Nice thing about this one is you can copy and paste it. You just got to make sure you go from the pan to this select text. And I'm going to pick this very first sentence. You know, those first days, I just never planned right. So I'm going to copy that, and that's going to be my evidence. But for my annotation, I need to show what that looks like. So I will put P5, then in quotes. This Welch would never use the letter U in place of the word you. You all know that. So this is this first one. You know those first days, I just never planned right. Now I have to explain how this shows he did not think through the consequences of his actions. This shows the narrator did not think through the consequences of his actions because on reflection he can see how half-baked his schemes. I don't say schemes. Schemes has a negative connotation. His plans were. And Ms. Welch will do my spell check, and then I'll read it out loud, make sure it sounds right. This shows the narrator did not think through the consequences of his actions because upon reflection, he can see how half-baked his plans were. Perfect. So guys, half-baked just means like, oh, I didn't fully think this through. So that is my example for that first one. You can't use paragraph 5 for this entire thing though. You have to go find other examples of that in other paragraphs. So you can only do one example in paragraph 5. Okay. And then looky here, I already left my example in the connect section. Perfect. So for the connect section, you can try to connect to the protagonist in the story and explain how you would cope living in the wild like the narrator did. Explain why you would or would not do well trying to live off the land. And I said, I do not think I would do nearly as well as the protagonist if I tried to live off the land. I have never spent much time outdoors. I only recently took up hiking. And that is true. I actually just bought a hydro flask because I've been going hiking so much I need something to keep my water cold. But in general, I don't have that many survival skills. So that's why I said I'm too much of a new friend to nature to truly be successful living in the wild. That is my connect. And then for the research, I want you guys to go ahead and just like look up what the Catskill Mountains like look like. Here we go. We're gonna go look up the Catskill Mountains. So they're a mountain range in upstate New York. And I know it says southeastern, but I'll show you where they are on a map and you'll understand. So the Catskill Mountains, this is kind of what they look like. See how green these mountains are, how just gorgeous that is. But so let me find it on a map for you guys. So these are some waterfalls, views and pictures. So as you can see, it's a very green, foresty area. People go ski there in the mountains. I've been skiing there. It's beautiful. There's all sorts of information on this Wikipedia. And this is one of those times where I will say you have permission to go look on Wikipedia. So I'm going to even show you guys where this is in upstate New York because, this is Miss Welch's home. Catskill Mountains. And then we're going to find those on the map just so I can show you guys where they are in New York to give you kind of perspective. Because New York isn't just New York City, as I'm sure some of you might know. But I'm going to show you. So you zoom out, you see where it is in New York. You can see that it's in this southern eastern part of New York, but I call it upstate because if you say New York, most people think down here in New York City. So it's right here in north, that southeast. And then shout out to Rochester, Miss Welch's hometown, right there. So I just want you guys to do some research and basically describe the terrain and what the climate of this place is like, and cite your source. Explain that you got this information from Wikipedia. All right. And with that, have a great day, guys, and I will see you later.